Watch. This is.
I did.
Were you there with your family?
Yes, my wife and myself.
Your wife and your what?
My wife and myself.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
Okay. I want to go back to September the 6th of 2018. Back in September of 2018, did you live at the Southside Flats?
I did.
Okay. Were you there with your family?
Yes, my wife and myself.
Your wife and your what?
My wife and myself.
Oh, okay. All right. And did you live in apartment number 1474?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, can I approach the witness?
Yes.
Mr. Matamachi, this is. This is the back hallway of the apartment complex. Sorry, guys. Along Powhatan Street, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it would this indicate 1474. Is this going to be the location of your apartment?
Correct.
Can I put a sticker there to indicate that?
Yes.
All right. So, how long had you lived in apartment 1474?
If I remember correctly, I moved in on April 30th, I guess. And I moved out in October second week. By 22nd of October, I was completely out of that apartment.
Say that last part again.
I moved in like April 30th of 2018.
Okay.
And I moved out completely by October 22nd of 2018.
2018, okay. So in September, you had been there April, May, June, July, August, 5, 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you home on the evening of September the 6th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall hearing what you later learned to be gunshots on that particular evening?
Yes.
What were you doing when you heard those gunshots?
I was having a Skype video call with my father. He lives in India.
Okay. And were the gunshots fast one after another?
Yeah, probably within seconds.
Okay. And do you remember there before that? Do you remember anything immediately before? I'm not talking about minutes before, but before you heard the gunshots, did you hear any loud voices like verbal commands?
No.
Did you hear anything like, get on the ground, show me your hands? You have to say it out loud, yes or no?
No.
Okay. You familiar with, have you ever seen like police when they're dealing with an individual they want to get control over, where they give loud verbal commands to somebody ordering them to do something?
Probably from the movies, but not real time.
Fair enough. Did you hear that before the shots were fired?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Several minutes before, I think, when you were talking to the Rangers, did you say that you just, tell me what it is that you heard? I think you told, speak slowly for me.
A few minutes before, there is slight disturbance that caught the attention, but I haven't come out or did anything like that. Usually it's pretty calm apartments, so heard some sort of slight noise or disturbance.
Okay, is there any reason to think that that had anything to do with the gunshots? No. And do you remember indicating that was several minutes before you heard the gunshots?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk to you about the doors. You know, we've had several witnesses that live there, and I've just neglected to ask them. So the way that the doors are set up at the Southside Flats, do you have like a handle at the bottom?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
Okay. Do you not remember how the doors are set up?
They're programmed, so you put in a key and you turn it. If it is not your key, it will blink red, and if it is your key, you can see it blinks green. And then once you turn in, I'm not sure on the handle, like how exactly the handle is and all, but you open the door and you go in, and if you leave the door, it will just shut with a bit of a sound because of the weight. So if you want to hold it or have it open without getting closed, you need to put something or hold it. Otherwise, it will just close out with a bang.
Okay, so the doors are later has a mechanism where it will at least attempt to close on its own.
Yes.
Okay. Here's, I guess, I'm not doing this very well, but here's the question: if you walk into your apartment and if you don't turn the deadbolt, Is the door open? Can a person just walk in?
Yeah, they need to still what sort of handle I cannot remember, but they still need to turn the handle to open the door or to push the door.
Right.
It's not like it's automatically open or anything like that.
No, and I get that. I understand that. The point that I'm still off trying to make it has been awful. If you have not engaged the deadbolt, in other words, the door doesn't lock itself, right?
No.
You have to lock it from the inside if you want it to be locked.
Correct.
Okay. That's what I wanted to have.
That makes sense. I was trying to still remember on what deadbolt is, but yeah, that's correct.
Anyway, thank you so much.
No problem.
I'll pass the witness. Thank you for your time, Mr. Bonamacci.
Sure, no problem.
They may have some questions, okay?
Mr. Bonamacci?
Sure.
How'd I do? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How pronounce your name?
Yep.
Okay, very good. My name is Zach Horn. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
You testified that you were at home with your wife, correct? And can you tell me again what her name was?
Mary, that's her first name. Mary Manjira Bellamkonda, that's her complete name.
Spell that for me.
Sure. M. M as in Mary, A as in Alpha, R as in Romeo, Y as in Yak, that's her first name. Manjira, M as in Mary, A as in Alpha, N as in Nancy, J as in Jack, E as in Elephant, E as in Elephant, R as in Romeo, A as in Alpha. Her last name is B as in Ball, E as in Elephant, L as in Lamb, L as in Lamb, A as in Alpha, M as in Mary, K as in King, O as in Owl, N as in Nancy, D as in David, A as in Alpha.
You testified a few moments ago that at the time of the incident you were on a Skype call, correct?
Yes.
You were Skyping a family member?
My father, yes.
Okay. Your father out of country?
He lives in India. He and my mother live in India.
Okay. So your attention prior to this incident, fair to say, was on talking to your father who's halfway across the world, correct?
Sir, can you answer yes or no?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you were at home with your wife, correct?
Correct.
And when you first heard the noises, it's fair to say that you weren't exactly sure whether or not what you were hearing were gunshots?
Yes. The first instant, I'm not sure. I doubted that. My wife thinks they're not gunshots, but I doubted when she said that.
Okay, so you're only 2 doors away. Mr. Herman showed you the diagram of the apartment complex, correct?
Yes.
And you're just 2 doors away, correct?
Yes.
And from only 2 doors away, you weren't sure whether or not the sounds you were hearing were gunshots.
I thought they're gunshots, but my wife is not sure. I was telling her. Yeah, she asked, what do you think of them? I thought like they might be gunshots, but I'm hearing them for the first time in my life. So that's when I realized probably they're gunshots.
In the time that you lived at the Southside Flat, did you or your wife ever park on the wrong floor?
I didn't park on the wrong floor, but my wife did park on the wrong floor once. That's what she said.
And in the time you were living there, explain to the jury, was there any confusion? Did you ever have any confusion whether or not you were on the 3rd floor of the parking garage or the 4th floor of the parking garage?
I haven't. I usually check on the elevators. They will have the numbers on which floor it is.
Did you understand how your wife would park on the wrong floor?
There's no object speculation in your second.
Do you have any knowledge whether or not your wife ever went to the wrong apartment?
There's no object speculation in your second.
He asked if he had any knowledge.
So, what's the question again?
Do you have any knowledge as to whether or not your wife ever parked on the wrong floor of the parking garage?
Yeah, she parked once on the wrong floor or like 3rd floor. That's what she mentioned once.
Do you have any knowledge as to whether or not your wife ever approached the wrong apartment?
I'm not sure on that.
Is your wife a reasonable person?
So I'm going to object to relevance.
too late to handle something, I'm gonna sustain this objection.
Stop the question. I have another
Is
question.
there no further, may he be excused?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Bonamacci, for shifting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know it didn't go off. Okay, it's still on. Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Sir, would you please introduce yourself, ladies and gentlemen?
My name is David Armstrong. I'm a Texas Ranger, Texas Department of Public Safety. Texas Rangers had a company B here, stationed in Garland, Dallas County.
And were you part of the investigative team that was involved in the subsequent investigation of the shooting involving Amber Guyger, the defendant, and the complainant, both of them?
I was.
Okay. Did you do any background, like biographical background on the defendant in this particular case?
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know how tall she is?
I believe 5'1".
All right. We get further. I'm showing you a document that you submitted, I believe, was part of the investigative material. Can you refresh your recollection?
Yes, sir. It's 5'3".
Okay.
I'll stay corrected.
Do you remember approximately how old she was at the time of this event?
Not offhand, no, sir.
Was 30, sound right?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what her phone number is?
Not offhand, no, sir.
On September the 8th of 2018, did you go out to the crime scene on that particular day?
I did.
And can you tell me what locations at the Southside sites you were looking at?
It was apartment 1478, 1478, yes, sir.
First thing I'd like to talk to you about, did you notice, Ranger Armstrong, the doors to the apartments that are located at the Southside Flats, how the doors are, I guess, equipped with handles and locking mechanisms?
I did.
Okay. Tell the jury how the doors are set up at that particular apartment complex.
So for the door, for 1478, I believe they're all consistent. The handle is what I would call passive. It does not lock or unlock. There's no locking mechanism to it. It just has a throw that will catch the door and hold it secure if it's all the way flush in the door.
Y'all heard that, huh?
Above
Y'all heard
is
that?
the deadbolt that accepts the key from the outside, and it has a lever on the inside to manually lock it from the inside. And above that, there's an additional deadbolt that is you cannot see from the outside.
And is that door going to remain open? When I say open, I mean not locked for someone to come and go unless one of the deadbolts are thrown out from the inside of the outside.
Yes,
So the handle is located at the bottom. It doesn't have any locking feature.
that's correct.
So if a resident was there and they didn't want to lock the door would be open for persons who wanted to open the door.
Yes.
I'm going to show you states exhibit number 39 and 40. going to be the lock audit report for apartment 1478.
It is.
And State Exhibit 40, is that going to be the lock audit report for apartment 1378?
It is.
Okay. When a key that is recognized by the locking mechanism, the first of the two deadbolts, from the outside, when the locking mechanism recognizes the key and will allow it to lock or unlock, does it record what's called an event?
It does.
All right. And are those events recorded for up to 200, and then the oldest one drops off?
Yes.
Okay. In this particular case, does this give us an indication of when there was lock or unlock events on September the 6th of 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it doesn't, would you let the jury know, does it record, or does it indicate if a wrong key is entered? Does it have any kind of an indication for that?
I don't believe so.
And does the lock audit report, did you, in your investigation, did you find out that as far as the date is concerned and the time, were they off on the report that you actually had to find the answer to that by getting with the manufacturer, Dormacaba?
Yes.
Okay, Dormacaba is Dormakaba.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain that to the jury, how it is that you were able to figure out the relative dates and times for each of these events?
Yes, we met with the Dormacaba representatives in Kentucky during this investigation. Myself and Mr. Hermes and a DA investigator in Lenore. And one of their engineers explained to us that the host computer, that the device they use to transition the data from the host computer to the lock itself, that host computer is what gives the date and time stamp to the transition device to the lock. If that host computer's daylight savings time is not correct, it may throw the time on the lock audit report off by an hour, either up or down. They were able to show that to us, and I believe the engineer was able to write a computer script to correct that. I'm sorry, he did that for the date, because it showed 2012, but he did that for the date, for the year. So the date, the time, the day and the month was correct on the report, but the year showed 2012 instead of 2018. He wrote the computer script to correct the year, and he was able to tell us and show us that the time was off by an hour, give or take, depending on daylight savings.
Okay, so these logs, they have to be manually updated to reflect daylight savings times versus what it's on.
That's correct, yes, sir.
So unless there's an actual update, it's going to keep the same time until it's updated again.
That's correct.
So based on what you learned, I was with you, I appreciate you learning about that. You learned basically a good approximation of when the events were starting with apartment number 1378. Going to September 6th. Does it indicate that the only door lock event for apartment 1378 on September the 6th registered at 6:23 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. When you reflect the change for the 1 hour, would that indicate about 7:23 a.m. as being when the resident of 1378 either locked or unlocked that door?
Yes.
No other events for September the 6th, is that correct?
That's correct.
For apartment 1478, going to September the 6th, there were a number of lock-unlock events that particular day. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would that be suggestive of the fact that the resident of 1478 locked and unlocked his door several times that day, perhaps running errands or so forth?
Yes, sir.
And the last lock event, would you agree, is going to be at, as recorded, 8:34 p.m. on September 6th?
Yes.
Again, when you adjust the time
to include the adjustment for savings time, that would make it, if accurate at 9:34 p.m.
Correct.
All right. Do you have a reasonable degree of confidence that those times, as Dor Makaba explained them to us, are accurate with the 1 hour addition?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Explain to the jury what happens when you put in a key that the door lock recognizes.
You'll hear kind of an electromagnetic sound, basically the small motor inside the key lock. It sounds like it's actuating, and it sounds like it accepts the key, and if you turn it, it will allow you to turn it, and if it doesn't accept the key, it will not allow you to turn it.
Okay, and if you insert a key that the door lock does not recognize, what is the result?
It will not allow you to turn it.
Okay, is there a visual indicator as well?
Yes.
Do you have reason to believe that Miss Guyger put her key into the door lock in both of John's apartment?
Yes.
Okay, is that because from your investigation did you learn that the keys were found dangling or they were dangling when the officers first arrived as shown by the cameras?
Yes.
So unless his lock was just not working in that particular moment, later on when it was tested by Detective Amara Richardson, it was working properly and was reflecting both the green and the red dots with the respective keys.
Yes.
Do you have any reason to believe his door was not acting as it should have been when Amber Guyger put her keys in that door?
Are you referring to the door or the doorknob? Or the lock, I'm sorry.
The door lock that takes the RFID key.
Okay, can you ask me that again?
Yeah, I'll try. Is there any reason for you to believe that when Amber Guyger put her key in that door, that it didn't indicate with a red dot?
No, sir.
Is that what you think is more likely than not would have happened?
Yes.
And in addition to the fact that it would have reflected a red dot, does it make, not a seriously loud, but does it make a noticeable sound when the key is put in and the lock will allow it to lock or unlock?
I would say it would depend on the conditions around you at that point. If there's ambient noise, you might not hear it. If it's very quiet, like it was when I was there and I heard that mechanism, then I would hear it, yes.
Okay. The light that's emitted, is it a red light? I've been calling it a red dot, but is it a red light?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
As part of your follow-up investigation into this particular case, did you go around and ask residents at the apartment complex, first and foremost, whether or not they heard any information, or they heard the gunshots, or had any information to impart upon you about the shooting itself?
Yes.
As part of that canvass, did you also ask whether or not residents had parked on the wrong floor or gone to the wrong apartment before?
Yes.
Okay, and did you keep that information?
I did.
Did your investigation find that there was, and I've added the math up, about 23% of persons on the third and the fourth floor had actually gone to the wrong door and put their key in the door?
Yes.
What was some of the indications as to what made the individuals realize that they'd gone to the wrong door?
The red light, not accepting the key, decorations that when they looked around, trying to figure out what happened, decorations that they realized were not their own.
Okay.
And looking at those decorations, some of them looked and saw that the apartment number was incorrect, things of that nature.
And as for the entire building put together, that number was 15% of residents had gone to the wrong apartment and tried to put their key into the wrong door.
That's correct.
Other than Amber Guyger, did any of those situations ever result in anybody being shot?
No, sir.
All right, I want to talk to you about relative times as far as entry is concerned. Have you seen Amber Guyger's pickup truck?
Yes.
Have you seen both of John's car?
Yes.
I'm showing what's been marked for identification as States Exhibit 42 through 45. Can you tell me if those are going to be fair and accurate depictions of a vehicle that appear to resemble Botham Jean's car?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and does the time, once you adjust for the 1 hour on the door lock event, are they going to be very close in time so that those numbers might suggest or affirm the fact that this is Botham Jean's vehicle entering?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 46 through 49. Do you recognize that to be the defendant's pickup truck?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And how is it
Come on,
you're
what's the
aware of what
relevant
the defendant's
question?
vehicle looks like?
I would like to answer that, but I would have to violate the judge's order.
Okay. Did you actually ever see the truck with your own eyes? Or did you see it depicted in photographs?
Depicted in photographs.
Okay, that's it. Are you aware that the district attorney's office during your investigation went out and did an audit of the timing on the computer that is reflective on all of these videos kept by Southside Flats?
Yes.
And are you aware that the time is off by about 3 minutes and 25 seconds on the videos?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what it says, when this photograph in State's Exhibit 42 shows a vehicle looking like Mr. Jean's coming in at 21:24, with that adjustment, we're talking about 9:27 p.m. coming in.
Correct.
Again, is that also consistent with the time that is recorded on the garage entry for the gate for Mr. Jean's entry?
It is.
And is it also very consistent with the lock audit time showing when he got to his apartment at 9:34?
Correct. Yes, it is.
Are you very comfortable that these times are reliable?
Yes.
When it comes to the white pickup truck entering at 21:42 with the addition of the 3.5 minutes, you're looking at about 21:46 or 9:46 in the evening, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If Ms. Guyger's truck is going in at about 9:46 to 9:47 p.m., and another vehicle goes in at 9:54 p.m. and her vehicle ends up behind his, is it reasonable that her vehicle pulled off at some point in that garage?
Yes.
Boom!
I'm going to offer State's Exhibits 42 through 46.
I knew I wasn't fucking crazy. I knew I wasn't fucking crazy.
42 to 49, I apologize.
Brother, see them looking like Barack Obama, they gonna fire you, man. They gonna fire you. You might as well start looking for a new job, man. You might as well start looking for a new job, bro. They gonna fire you, dog. You did something they didn't want you to do. Tell the truth. They about to fire you, dog. I am so sorry, man.
Okay.
32 minutes.
Judge, can I publish?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
All right, State's Exhibit number 42. In your estimation, whose car is that coming in? As reflected 9:24, but more likely 9:27.
Mr. Johns.
Damn, he had a nice car.
9:25, probably more accurate, 9:28 or so. Whose vehicle is that?
Mr. Johns.
Okay, don't
Both
do
of them
the
had a
car
nice car, y'all. Fuck.
That's just another depiction of it.
Yes, sir.
9:42 adjusted to 9:46, 9:47 p.m. Is that Amber Guyger, the defendant's vehicle?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I must be tired. That's going to be State's Exhibit number 46. Is that correct? I represent that State's Exhibit 46.
Yes, sir.
Okay. and
Amber
prior to
truck,
that,
both them car.
the picture of Mr. John's
Come
car
on, come
going
on.
in is going to be State's Exhibit number 45. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Come on, get to the real questions, man.
State's
Y'all
Exhibit
keep
number
beating around
48
the
does not
bush.
show the white pickup truck going into the gated part.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you actually seen the video?
Yes, I have.
Okay, can you explain to the jury why Amber Guyger, the defendant's pickup truck, is able to go through there, but yet it's not recorded on the garage access report?
Yes, the gate had already been opened by somebody else, either through walking through an open gate or a vehicle leaving or going in. And there's a delay in the gate closing between traffic going through it. And
Y'all, I'm sorry. Let me pause this real quick. For those of you that ever lived in a gated community or you lived in a gated apartment complex, no tree dog, y'all know there is no delay in those gates. Like, once you take your fob or like your little tag, once you get to the gate, it opens. So like, you and that person who's coming out and you going in, y'all have to meet at the gate at the same time. Or like, okay, the last place I lived, you had to sit up there and literally key in your key code. It was almost like a phone number. You had to key that in, and no person code was the same. And in this apartment complex, like the out, you could not, when a person come out and you try to swerve from the in to go to the outside to get in, you couldn't do that because the gate closed quick. No, man, something about this is not right.
I believe she just drove through an open gate instead of having to stop, use her key fob, and go through that way.
So I'm going to come back to State's Exhibit number 48, but I wanted to show you what's already in evidence at State's Exhibit number 200.
Hey, Sharon, baby, I'm sorry.
This particular vehicle belonged to a gentleman named Ronald Jones, who
Hey, Shonda, baby.
saw Amber Guyger pull in and park. She came in behind him and pulled in and parked. And this was 7 minutes after she entered the parking garage. He enters the parking garage. Would that also again be indicative that at some point she pulled off after entering the parking garage and before she parked on the floor?
I believe so.
At this time, I'm also going to offer State's Exhibit number 50, which is just going to be the video from which these still shots were derived, showing the entrance of the vehicle contained in State's Exhibits. I believe it's 42 through 49.
Was both Mr. Jones and Ms. Guyger's vehicle?
Yes.
Is it just limited to that?
Yes.
Y'all look at Barack Obama, long lost son. Y'all look at Obama, long lost son. He even talked like President Obama. He even talked like him. He got their voice.
All right. Your Honor, for publication, this time I'm publishing channel 15. All right, Ranger, is that going to be the vehicle that...
Both of them had a badass car. Man.
And that's him coming into the carport, either at 2124, 2127 with the adjustment.
Yes, sir.
Publishing channel 10, again showing 2124, which would be 927, 928 with the adjustment. Is this going to be Mr. John's vehicle entering into the parking garage?
Yes, sir.
$21.25.
Now publishing channel 15 as it relates to Amber Guyger's vehicle. timestamp being 2142, again with the adjustment being 2145, 2146.
Oh, that bitch did this on purpose. Y'all look.
Channel 50. Publishing channel.
Oh, she did this on purpose. This is Botham's car coming in. He had a badass car. Now y'all peep this. Peep this.
Now publishing channel 15 as it relates to Guyger's vehicle. Timestamp being 2142, again with the adjustment being 2145, 2146.
That's her truck. Hold up, wait. There you go. It's coming in. It's coming in. That white truck right there. That white truck right there.
Recognize that, sir.
I did, yes, sir.
And then the channel 15, pardon me, the channel 10 aspect of that same thing, showing her eventual entry into the parking garage through the gates.
Y'all wait. Delay number 2. There she go right there.
That's her vehicle.
All right, that's going to be depicted, that's going to be the video recording in State's Exhibit number 50. Okay, is that accurate, Mr. Ranger Armstrong?
Yes, sir.
When you went into...
Oh, y'all look at Obama's son. Y'all look at Obama's stepson.
I noticed that obviously a crime scene investigation had already been conducted. I observed that things had been moved around from some of the pictures that I had already seen of the crime scene prior to my arrival, and I did smell the odor of marijuana in the apartment.
So even a couple of days later, the smell of marijuana still was inside the apartment?
Yes, sir.
Something about this not adding up, y'all. I'm sorry.
I believe the circular ottoman, lack of a better term, it looked like it had been pushed further towards the back wall where the patio door was. And from the body-worn camera footage that I'd seen and photos.
Okay, y'all. I gotta go with my husband here. I gotta go take care of my husband. So y'all give me a few minutes. And we gonna watch this case together again. But I'm gonna keep it going for y'all. And I will be taking my notes.